Thank you both so much for joining me. I love this movie so much. I've seen it. I think I've seen it like 5 or 6 times. It's so easy to watch. There's a real effortlessness to this. So I know I had the pleasure of speaking with Ary before, and I just gushed at him for 20 minutes last time. So Elliot, I might do the same with you. Um, I'm a huge fan of it. I'm actually in the middle of reading your book right now, so I'm very grateful that you could take the time today. Um, I guess I wanted to know, Elliot, I wanted to know like if you could tell me, I don't want to say why you wanted to become part of this project, but I kind of just want you to take me back to the point when you saw the film for the first time because it, it's so I keep saying it's like so easy to watch, but the performances are so beautiful, and I think we have we don't see films like this shortlisted or honored because I feel like a lot of times with queer films and TV shows that unfortunately the thing that gets mentioned the most usually revolves around straight actors playing gay, or it caters more to white gay men. So yeah, I guess, sorry, take me back to the time when you first saw the film.
I first saw the film in the summer when I was in Toronto. My dear friend Star Amarasu was visiting, his
Mm,
incredible musician and DJ, and now studying film actually. And she was curating like a shorts program for Outfest.
okay.
And she said, Elliot, you have to watch this short. Like it's so good. I've watched it multiple times. You have to watch it. And I sat down and watched it, and it sounds like yourself. I was just blown away. I just thought it was utterly exquisite. I mean, as a film, obviously, how it's shot,
Mhm.
in terms of mm, seeing a director work who's clearly so assured, has such vision, but creates the space that feels so organic and so fluid,
Mhm.
and uh, allowed these two just absolutely stunning performances to exist. And then I think
Mhm.
I followed Ary on Instagram, or requested to follow him on Instagram, and then we just sort of started chatting, and then this opportunity for me to be involved, which is just truly an honor because I'm such a fan of the film and Ary's work. Uh, I of course said absolutely, and
Mhm.
and I think what you're speaking to of it, Joy, I felt that too. Like you start a film like that, and you're wondering, I think our knee jerk, because what we're so used to seeing is, oh, what's going to happen, right?
Right.
And then you do have a film that's full of, there's still tension, you still have suspense, you still have all these things, but ultimately it's a film that ends with a hope, and this woman has a sense of agency and like uh and it's you've gone on this really beautiful journey with two people over the course of a night. It's just a stunning piece of work.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about I love that these two characters are mostly alone for the majority of the film. I love that. Um, I did want to ask you, Ary, something that when I watched it again yesterday, I'm just geeking out over how many times I've seen it. I for some reason when I watched it yesterday, I really was drawn into how much reflective surfaces are in the film. And like we see it when Larissa is looking at herself before she gets in the shower. When she's on the bus, there's a mirror above her head. Even the dress she wears, it's like it has a dull sheen to it, but it's still very vibrant, and the shine of it really brings the color out. And I guess if that is something visually that you wanted to bring out, because I really responded to it last time I watched it.
Mm, It wasn't something that we, it was something that we didn't want to hide. Okay,
Mm.
it's
Okay.
not like a matter of highlight those kinds of objects, but for sure not to hide, because we as trans need to have this sometimes difficult connection with our reflection. But when it starts to be a good place to be in touch with our reflection, it really powers up. Um, and besides, mirrors are portals, but this is
Mm.
already my spirituality coming in film. But it's something that I would not highlight in a conversation, but it's there.
Yeah. Okay. I even thought about how Claudio, on sort of the opposite side of that, when he's in the car, maybe his eyes are darting to the cameras because he's watching these women on the street. I kept thinking that too, and sort of the difference between that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you both about the word warrior that is used. I like how when Larissa says it to the other girls that she knows, when she offers them protection, she says it to them as she's walking towards them on the street. But then she also um, casually says it to Claudio once, I mean, towards the end of the movie. And I was wondering what you both can tell me about maybe the importance of that word in this story.
Okay, from my side, it's not a word that we often use here in the community.
Mm.
It is a word that Gaia has on her vocabulary because she grew up on evangelic church.
Oh, okay.
And on the church, they use this word guerreiro to refer. So it's something that she brought from her past and that she still uses nowadays, not that much, but back then much more.
Okay. Hmm. I like how that's put in there. There's something I don't know, I feel like the way that we talk to one another is very important. The way that we feel comfortable around um like the way every Friday night I usually have the gaggle of gays over to like watch something, and usually like the way that I speak to them in the privacy of my own home, I would not speak to them. I would speak to them that way, maybe with more care and more, I would be more self-conscious about that. So I thought of that when I watched it again last time. I wanted to know about I wanted to ask about intimacy. I'm surprised I didn't ask you about that the last time, Ari, because I like when they're driving together, we're in the back seat of the car, but then later it's the perspective switches to us being outside of the car and we're looking through the windshield. And I guess I kind of just on a basic level wanted to know. I know that Gaia is she's so I could watch her do anything. She could butter bread, and I would think it's so disarming. And I love her smile and how she moves, and she's just a really captivating screen presence. And I guess I just wanted to know about capturing that intimacy and how you build that. And then, Elliot, if you sort of wanted to comment on maybe witnessing that, just because um, as a viewer, I think that's very breathtaking, and I think harder than most people to realize that is to capture.
I think
Sorry, that was a long question. So.
yes. um, most I think that most things I do them intuitively.
Mhm.
I'm not really following a book. I'm trying to be present and moving in this flow. Um, the change of angle. It's more because in the beginning everyone is tense because everyone is anticipating a tragic story. So I think we get more of this tension if we are locked with them inside the car,
Mhm.
feeling more of some of the point of view of Claudio being locked with a stranger in a car, and the point of view of Larissa that a lot of the community feels it's like this is not going to be safe.
Mm.
So I like to create that tension, and the camera being inside the car really helps. But then when the car starts to move, I think we find more space to breathe and to come with a different perspective, what journey this could be. So we change the angle and start to see them from the outside. How do these two people will connect? How they will um, work on this relationship, and then we become more like voyeuristic,
Mhm.
to try to understand how this is going to build the intimacy. Well, with Gaia, it's very natural. Gaia is a Scorpio, okay? So um, it's the way she naturally flows. She's very magnetic.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that this happened in a very natural way because Eve also proposed to be vulnerable and in a place where I didn't have seen him before in cinema.
Mm.
He's playing a very different role that we have been seeing him do. Um, and it's almost like playing real life.
Mm.
And I think that we were able to get this because we all have a lot of questions to be answered. We were very willing to know the universes of one another. So this intimacy naturally flows because of curiosity.
Mm. Okay. I think it's you mentioning that, we have this instinct um that when we see a story a story with trans characters or even some queer characters, when they get into a car like that, and our instinct is that it puts us at such ill at ease. And I hate that. I hate that so much, that is our instinct. It's so sad to me, and I'm glad um that I don't say I'm glad this movie doesn't do that, but it's just that this is such the reason why I love this movie so much is that it's such a uh shining example of like how easy it is to make such a beautifully complex story, but just between two characters. And it's so textured and full of the dialogue is so rich and so honest and so bracing. So that's not a question. That's just more of a comment about how the state of the state of some of the world of entertainment with queer and trans representation. Um, um, I did want to ask about. I mean, I didn't congratulate you two. Congratulations on being shortlisted. I was so excited, and I noticed that. I mean, this film. There's an animated short that's on the short list. Pete. Then of course we also have Almodovar's on the live action short list. I think last year there was um, a queer short, Warshaw, that I really enjoyed. I guess I just wanted to know from both of you, like, how you see this as a step forward in terms of the right stories being told, just because um, I was so excited for this, so excited for Pete. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ari's the one who told the story, so I feel like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
more apt to. But yeah, I certainly do. As you know, someone who watched this film and felt so grateful for it. You know, yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, for me, it's difficult um, to speak this way, like the right stories, because I think that if we also turn violence invisible, maybe
Mm,
we are creating an oniric scenario, so it's very difficult to measure how can we highlight history, but at the same time don't repeat the same patterns and be able to present new narratives. So there's a balance to it. Um, and I felt that in this film, this was very hard to measure. Like from the moment she gets inside the car, how can I keep the queer people safe?
mm,
Like they are not for 10 minutes suffering with something that can happen and that trigger them. At the same time, how can I not transform this film on a TED talk about gender?
mm,
How can I tell a regular story like a love affair in a night where we don't get this major focus on transness? Sometimes we are able to forget, but then we remember again. So I think this also will happen with cinema. It's very difficult to measure what would be the right narratives to be shared. I think that for sure we need different angles.
mm,
We can't be doing all of us the same.
mm,
Um, and on that way, I think there will exist more balance because you see a lot of films with cisgender people that are violent, that are humoristic, that are dramas, whatever.
mm,
So I hope that with time, that also can happen with films where we have starring transgender people. A way to balance where violence is not a highlight anymore because we found a way to tell different stories a long time.
yeah.
Right now, I think that we really need to push um, stopping violence on screen because violence is generating violence. We learn a lot from what we see on films, and we cannot humanize this kind of behavior. This cannot be acceptable. This cannot be reproduced
Mm,
in the street just because it is what happens to trans people. So whatever should be happening on the streets.
mm.
But it's very, very hard to balance the work that we need to do.
Yeah, just even thinking about some of the other films this year, this, Pete, Monica, I love that movie. Kokomo City, all like there's more, but I mean like just thinking of those four films, they're all so different, all different perspectives. Um, so
Mhm.
the just even thinking about the variety of some of these stories is wonderful to me. Um, I guess I just wanted to leave you with another gushy comment that I love a couple of the final images of this film. I like how you cut the film at the very end as the music is swelling and Larissa is dancing. She's dancing with her friends, but also I kept thinking of how she is really thinking of herself in that moment. And then also, I kept thinking about the moment when her and Claudia were walking down the fire escape. I love that shot so much where we see the city in the background. It's sort of like, not to sound cheesy, but it's sort of just like, um, where is this? Is this a love story? Can this love story also take the world? The world is there witnessing this. I don't know. This is before we realize where it's going between these two characters, but I was just so excited just seeing them in the foreground with the gorgeous like lights going on in the back. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you as I let you go. Um, Thank you both so much for taking the time to speak with me, and thank you for letting me just gush at you for 15 minutes. I'm really rooting for this film so much, and I'm like I said before, the gays come over every Friday, and they always ask me to like, what should we watch? Let's watch something. So I'm going to make them watch this tonight. This is going to be the selection for this evening. So thank you so much
Nice.
for your time. Good luck to you. Congratulations again, and thank you.
Get some reactions, please.
No, I will. I'll send you a DM on Instagram. All right.
Thank you so much,
Bye, folks.
Joey.
Thanks so much. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.